will be ranked in the top 3 at middleweight.
Trey, what's the idea for Havoc Media PR?
Well, the idea actually was created by this young man who's standing next to me, Chris Glover, aka my Alabaster nephew, and
Thank you.
what we plan to do is to bring more insight, more culpability to not only boxers, but athletes in general, because it's a sports franchise.
Lou kind of went off on
No, I'm going to boogie right to the gym after that, little bro. And that right there, before he goes, hey, Keith, that is one of the best managers on the planet, Keith Conley.
Oh, we know, man. It's a legend in the New York boxing
So,
scene.
like, our team is set, and we plan to explore all aspects of sports with Havoc Media and PR, and at that point in time, it's just another facet of what Havoc is all about. Havoc is explosive, Havoc is pandemonium, Havoc is bedlam, and that's what we plan to be for the world as a sports entity.
Lou kind of went off on Canelo and the idea that he can kind of pick and choose and do whatever it is he wants to do in the 160, even 168-pound division. What are your thoughts on that on Canelo, franchise champion?
First off, franchise champion is ridiculous. I don't even know what that phrase means.
Right.
I don't know why the WBC would come up with such an idiotic concept. It makes no sense. Literally, there should just be one title, champion, period, exclamation point. No need for anything else. It makes no sense.
What are your thoughts on the Kovalev Yarde fight? How do you see that fight playing out?
Kovalev is gonna knock Yarde out.
Correct.
Right, and if so, then the idea is obviously for Canelo to go ahead and fight Kovalev. You think he's maybe biting off more than he can chew? How do you see that fight playing off if he meets him at a catchweight?
I think that Kovalev against Canelo is ridiculous also. Kovalev is like a cruiserweight, literally. He's a big man, a big strong man. I don't care if he was 40 years old. Canelo is 5'6", 5'6.5", so on and so forth. It makes no sense to me. I think it's actually a PR ploy, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But if they fight, I'd be very surprised.
Do you think if Sergey had a bigger fan base and a bigger following at this point, that he would already be a champion and maybe wouldn't have to go through such a tough road of opponents in order to get a shot at the title?
Well, I mean, you have to realize that he's only had 14 fights.
Right.
His professional career is quite limited, but he's very experienced. So he is just about where he needs to be, and actually he's getting a lot more limelight and shine than fighters who have a record of the same culpability. But Sergey's special. Sergey is an enigma. Sergey is the technician, and you will see that October 5th.
And one more question. Curtis Stevens, I mean, it was a tough outing the last time. I think you said that maybe it's time for him to hang it up. Where's he at with that? Where's he at mentally? Just your thoughts on that.
Well, I was really disappointed. Honestly, I thought Curtis was going to walk through Wale. It just didn't happen that way, and I saw signs of what we call, from a trainer's perspective, not pulling the trigger, a bit gun shy. And there's a difference between not being on time or rusty and what I saw. And he's my nephew, that's my sister's son, and I'm not going to allow him to get hurt. So for me, that's it for Curtis.
Can you give us an update on Danny Jacobs when we anticipate his return to the ring?
I don't know yet. I don't know. We have to see what happens. He wants to go up and wait, so I couldn't call it as of yet.
You think Billy Joe Saunders could be a potential opponent? You know, he's called out Triple G. He's mentioned that he wants the top fighters in the division. You know, Danny Jacobs is one of the best fighters that there is out there right now. So do you see that happening?
Well, that could take place, because I don't think that Saunders is coming back to 160. He makes 168 now. He doesn't really he's always had weight problems. So I don't see him going back to 160. He might think it might be detrimental to his career. So I think he's going to stay at 168 and progress from there.
We got this guy making his debut pretty soon. What's the deal? What's your thoughts on that, man?
This young man, Chris Glover, he was thrown into my life, and he walked through the door.
Hasn't left since?
And hasn't left since. It was like that relative you know, when you have that extra room in the house.
Right.
He came into the house. He said he was going to be here for a week, and it's been 5 years now, and he still takes claim to that room. But seriously speaking, he was advised to come in by some mutual friends of ours, and he has come in with a zest and a vigor. He talks a lot. Mouth never stops, but that's just his nature, and he's a really good kid, and he's been progressing and flourishing here, and his mother wanted me to make sure that I took care of him, so that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure he's all right and that he progresses and he's full of ideas and concepts, so I let him run with it. This is what you need at this point in my life, the youthful exuberance and energy that he displays and portrays, and we're going to carry some of these concepts that we created all the way to the top.
And this is the real last question. Berlanga made his way to your gym, new signee. I guess you're training him. How high of a ceiling do you think this kid has?
Oh, listen, this kid has the world in the palm of his hands. He's 22 years old. He's 6'1". He's still growing. He can punch like a mule kicks. I mean, the world is his oyster. He's going to be a fantastic pearl, and I'm very happy. I've known him since he was a little guy, so it's not like he just walked into our lives. But now he's under my auspices. I'm training him, and he became a part of the family because he always was family.
Hey, Andre, thanks a lot, man. Get
You're
out of the heat.
very welcome,
Thanks
definitely. And remember, as always, we are in the hurt business, and it's havoc time.
And I need that Havoc shirt, man.
Without a doubt. If it don't bling, we don't ring. There
That's
it goes.
right, that's
Havoc
right,
Media PR. At Havoc Media PR.
That's right,
At
man.
Chris Glover 28.
That's right.
Sorry,
All right, Dre,
Thanks,
one more
Jay.
time.
Thanks very
Yo,
much.
hey, I'll see you, brother.
I respect